Hello, darlings! Today we're diving into the world of refreshing summer drinks. When the weather gets warm, there's nothing quite like a cool and refreshing drink to quench your thirst. Whether you're lounging by the pool or hosting a garden party, these beverages will keep you cool and satisfied. From classic lemonades to vibrant fruit smoothies, we've got something for everyone. We'll be exploring a variety of flavors and ingredients, so be sure to have your notepad handy and perhaps a mixing jug or two. Now, are you ready for a delightful journey into the world of summer coolers? Let's get started. First up, we have a true summertime classic, lemonade. This simple yet utterly refreshing drink is a staple for a reason. It's tart, it's sweet, and it's incredibly simple to make from scratch. All you'll need are some lovely lemons, sugar, and water. You can adjust the sweetness to your liking, and I always say a little extra squeeze of lemon never hurts. Remember to taste as you go, darlings. Now, the key to a truly spectacular lemonade is using freshly squeezed lemon juice. It makes all the difference in flavour. Trust me on that. Once you've combined your lemon juice, sugar and water, give it a good stir until the sugar dissolves completely. Pop it in the fridge to chill, and there you have it. A classic lemonade that's perfect for those warm summer days. Now, once you've mastered the classic lemonade, it's time to get a bit adventurous with some delightful flavour variations. This is where you can really let your creativity shine, dearies. One of my personal favourites is a refreshing berry lemonade. Simply muddle some fresh raspberries, strawberries or blueberries at the bottom of your glass before adding your lemonade. The berries add a lovely touch of sweetness and a beautiful pop of colour. If you're feeling adventurous, you could try muddling in some fresh herbs like mint or basil. A sprig of mint can add a wonderfully refreshing twist to your lemonade. And if you're after something a bit zestier, a squeeze of lime or a splash of grapefruit juice can work wonders. Remember, the possibilities are endless. Don't be afraid to experiment with different flavour combinations and find your own signature summer lemonade. Now, let's talk about a true classic. A beverage as timeless as a Victoria sponge cake, iced tea. A good, strong black tea is what you want for this. Brew it nice and strong, let it steep properly. Once it's had a good long soak, don't stew it, that'll make it bitter. Pop in a few ice cubes and pour your lovely tea over them. A classic iced tea needs a good squeeze of lemon. And there you have it, a refreshing glass of iced tea. Jazz up your classic iced tea with a touch of something special. Think of it as adding a bit of spice to your drink. Fruit-infused teas are just the ticket. Peach is delightful, very summery, or perhaps a bit of raspberry, always a good choice. And of course, you can't go wrong with a good mint tea. Brew it just like you did with the classic iced tea. Once it's brewed and cooled, the fun begins. If you're using peach tea, a few slices of fresh peach are just the thing. And there you have it, a whole host of flavoured iced teas to tickle your fancy. Fruit smoothies, a delightful way to get your daily dose of fruits, and so simple to make. Bananas add a lovely creaminess. Berries are always a winner. Pop it all into your blender and don't forget a splash of liquid. Whiz it all up until it's nice and smooth. And there you have it, a delicious and refreshing fruit smoothie. Goal. Now, for those who like their drinks with a bit of zing, let's talk green smoothies. Don't let the colour put you off. These are like a breath of fresh air for your insides. Packed with leafy greens like spinach or kale, they're like a salad you can sip. Remember, it's all about balance. You can add some sweetness and creaminess with fruits like bananas, mangoes, or a handful of berries. And for the liquid base, you can use water, coconut water, or even a splash of almond milk. Just pop everything into your blender, whiz it up until smooth, and there you have it. A refreshing and healthy drink that's perfect for a quick breakfast or a revitalizing afternoon pick-me-up. And the beauty of green smoothies is that you can customize them to your liking. You can add a dollop of honey for extra sweetness, a squeeze of lemon juice for a touch of tang, or even a sprinkle of chia seeds for a bit of texture. Next up, we have a real treat for those who fancy a bit of a fiesta in a glass, the Virgin Mojito. Now, this is a drink that's bursting with flavour, just like a good cake should be. We start with a generous handful of fresh mint leaves. Muddle those with a bit of sugar and freshly squeezed lime juice. You want to release all those lovely essential oils from the mint. Then, top it up with some ice and a good splash of soda water. Give it a good stir, and there you have it. A refreshing and zingy drink that's perfect for a hot summer's day. It's so good, you won't even miss the alcohol. And if you want to get a bit fancy, you can always add some sliced strawberries or cucumbers for an extra burst of flavour and visual appeal. Remember, presentation is everything, even with drinks. Let's travel back in time now to a classic that's as delightful as a Victoria sponge cake, the Shirley Temple. This drink is as charming and bubbly as its namesake. We start with a good quality ginger ale. Now, ginger ale is naturally sweet and bubbly, just like a good meringue should be. To that, we add a splash of grenadine, just a touch, mind you, to give it a lovely pink hue and a hint of sweetness. Then, for a final flourish, we add a splash of orange juice. This adds a lovely citrusy note that complements the ginger ale perfectly. Give it a good stir, and there you have it. The Shirley Temple is a delightful and refreshing drink that's perfect for any occasion, from a casual picnic to a fancy afternoon tea party. It's a true classic that never goes out of style, just like a good Victoria sponge. Now, who can resist a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice, especially on a warm summer's day? It's like sunshine in a glass. Choosing the right oranges is key, mind you. You want ones that are nice and heavy for their size, with smooth skin. A good juicy orange is what we want. The smell of those oranges being squeezed is just divine, isn't it? And the taste? Well, it's simply refreshing, zesty, and oh so good for you. Packed with vitamin C to put a spring in your step. Remember, a little bit of pulp never hurt anyone. Adds a lovely texture. It does. Watermelon juice. Now this is a real summer thirst quencher. It's cool, hydrating, and ever so slightly sweet. Pick a watermelon that feels nice and heavy, with a hollow sound when you give it a tap. That's how you know it's ripe and full of juice. Now you can blend the watermelon chunks as they are, but I like to remove the seeds first. And if you prefer a smoother texture, a quick pass through a sieve does the trick. A splash of lime juice is a lovely addition, just gives it a bit of a zing. For those afternoons when you need a little pick-me-up, a classic iced coffee is just the ticket. It's coffee, but make it chilled and refreshing. Start with a good strong brew. You want the coffee flavor to really come through. Let it cool completely before pouring it over ice. Now, you can add a splash of milk or cream if you like, and a touch of sugar or sweetener to taste. Some folks even like a drizzle of chocolate syrup on top, but that's a bit too much for me. A good iced coffee should be strong, cold, and utterly satisfying. Now, for those who fancy themselves a bit of a coffee connoisseur, let's talk about the iced latte. It's the chic cousin of iced coffee, don't you think? A bit more sophisticated, darling. You start with a good, strong espresso. None of that instant nonsense, mind you. A proper espresso, nice and hot, poured over a generous amount of ice. As the ice clinks against the glass and the espresso cools, you add your milk. Now, I prefer a splash of full-fat milk, just a touch, to keep it light and refreshing. But feel free to use oat milk, almond milk, whatever tickles your fancy. And there you have it, an iced latte, perfect for a midday pick-me-up or a refreshing treat after a spot of gardening. Ah, milkshakes. They take me right back to my childhood, sipping on a cold, creamy milkshake on a warm summer day. It's a classic for a reason, isn't it? And the beauty of a milkshake is its simplicity. A good scoop of vanilla ice cream, a dash of milk, and a quick whiz in the blender. If you're feeling adventurous, add a spoonful of strawberry or chocolate sauce. And let's not forget the finishing touches. A swirl of whipped cream, a sprinkle of colourful sprinkles, and a cherry on top, because why ever not? It's a delightful treat that's sure to bring smiles to faces of all ages. Now, sometimes all you need is a refreshing glass of water. But why not add a touch of pizzazz? Citrus-infused water is the perfect way to stay hydrated and add a burst of flavour to your day. Start with a pitcher of chilled water. Then, slice up some lemons, limes, and oranges. Oh, and don't forget the grapefruit. Thin slices work best, just enough to release their fragrant oils. Give it a good stir and let it sit for a bit, allowing those lovely citrus flavours to infuse. You can even add a sprig of mint or a few basil leaves for an extra layer of freshness. It's a simple pleasure that's sure to brighten your day. Now, this next recipe is as refreshing as a summer breeze it is. Cucumber and mint water. It's so simple to make, you'll be sipping on it all day long. Start with a nice, crisp cucumber. The longer and straighter the better, gives you more to slice. Give it a good wash and slice it up nice and thin. Almost translucent they should be. And don't be shy with the mint, my dears. A good handful of fresh mint leaves will give it a lovely, vibrant flavour. Just muddle them gently to release their beautiful aroma. Pop those cucumber slices and muddled mint leaves into a pitcher of cold water. Give it a good stir and let it sit for a bit in the fridge. That way, the flavours can really infuse and mingle, just like a good gossip. And there you have it, a light, refreshing drink that's perfect for those warm summer days. It's so good. You won't even miss the sugary drinks, I promise. Ah, slushies. These take me right back to childhood summers, they do. Remember those sweltering days, running around with friends, then cooling down with an icy, fruity slushie? Pure bliss. The beauty of a slushie is you can use whatever fruit takes your fancy. Feeling adventurous? try a mango and passion fruit blend. Want something classic? You can't go wrong with strawberry. It's a real crowd pleaser. Simply whiz up your chosen fruits with some ice in a blender until it's smooth and, well, slushy. You want that perfect consistency, thick enough to hold its own, but still easy to slurp up through a straw. And if you want to be really fancy, try layering different flavours in a glass. You could even add a dollop of whipped cream on top. Go on, spoil yourselves. There you have it, my lovelies. 16 delightful drinks to keep you refreshed all summer long. Don't forget to experiment with your favourite fruits and herbs to make these drinks your own. Cheers to a fabulous summer.